Right, everyone. Sorry for the little bit of technical difficulties. Our camera is not working, so this is going to be a purely audio class. So if you are going to be catching this recording, think of this like a podcast. So this is Short Sale 101, and we have the lovely Andrea Alummootil here to present all of her knowledge, insight, and expertise. Take it away.
All right. I was gonna do a short set class on like the boring stuff and how to submit a package, how to do all the paperwork. I think as an agent, that's not important. You can always hire someone to do that. Okay, so I'm just gonna show you what is a short sale really quick, and then I'm gonna show you how to talk to the owners. Is that something that will be valuable to you? Okay. All right. Who here survived the market crash of 2008? Wow, that's how old we are.
So, we're all like, dude, they're like 25.
Andrea, you're seasoned.
There we go. So in 2008, 99% of the homes were short sales. And if you didn't know how to do one, you're gonna go back to a cubicle 9 to 5. That's what happened then. I think now most agents think that there's no short sales out there. Who thinks that? There's nobody losing their homes right now. Okay, so you do know that there's people losing their homes right now. How bad it is, New Jersey is one of the top states of people filing for foreclosure at this time. What caused that? There's still people from the market crash that did modifications, couldn't sell it, they're back on the foreclosure list. COVID caused a lot of people losing their homes. It's happening right now. And of course, inflation and high costs and interest rates and all this crazy stuff. So, I mean, in the last quarter, and the lenders repossessed nearly 96,000 homes in the last 3 months in 2023. That's a lot of people. If you think expires are low-hanging fruit, people in foreclosure and auction are really in need of help. And if you know what you're doing and you know how to approach them, this is a nice little niche that you can add to your marketplace. So you know what a short sale is, right? The owner basically owns more than what the house is worth, right? Most agents think that when you list the property for sale, you have to list it at whatever the value of the payoff of the amount of the mortgage is. It's not. You have to list it at what the market value is, right? If you look at your booklet here, not every short sale is one size fits all, right? Every short sale has its own story. Why is a homeowner in distress? Is it a divorce? Is it a death? Is it a loss of job? There's always a reason why your homeowner is losing their homes. Not all homeowners qualify for a short sale, okay? So when you take a short sale listing, always call the bank and find out, does this homeowner qualify for a short sale? I have one right now where the bank is just not gonna do it, 100%. They won't tell me why, they just don't wanna do it. I have no idea why. I know if it's FHA, I think three years, right, Ernest? 3 years? If you're late more than 3 years, 3.5 years, FHA will not, you don't qualify for a short sale. So don't waste your time.
So they have to be behind 3.5 years before you can do it, or?
You can't be more than 3.5. Once you pass those 3.5, HUD, which is backed up by FHA, will not do a short sale. You're wasting your time. So I always, when I take a short sale listing, send the authorization to the bank, find out is this FHA or not, because if it's FHA, will they qualify? The bank itself doesn't know. The people at the bank, they don't even know, but I know. If it's more than 3.5 years, you're wasting your time, okay? I have here, I don't like to negotiate my short sales anymore. They're way too much work. They're way too much time consuming. I think that everybody should just focus on finding the short sales, getting the listing, and then just hiring someone else to do the short sale negotiation. You can partner with a realtor on page 6. You can partner with a realtor that knows how to do it. You know, give them a percentage, say, hey, I don't want to negotiate the short sale. Give me 50% of the listing side, and the realtor that has the team to do it can handle the short sale. If you want to do a short sale negotiation on your own, you have to call the bank once or twice a week. You have to submit a bunch of paperwork. To me, it's just too much work. Focus on finding the lead, getting the listing, signing the listing agreement, and getting more deals. I think that's where your focus should be. So there's 3 people that can negotiate a short sale. Yourself, a title company can do it, you can hire them. And there's always third-party people that will do it for you. They charge like $5,000, or they'll charge you like 1% of your commission. You know, there's a lot of people that can do it for you. I recommend don't do it yourself. It's way too much. It's way too much work. All right? There are, on page 10, as reasons why you qualify for a short sale. You owe more than the market value, of course. Seller demonstrates hardship, sick. I've seen a death in the spouse, a divorce, someone gets physically sick and they can't work anymore, financially strained. Those are the people that would qualify for a short sale. I have never seen a client never qualify for a short sale unless the lender, unless the loan is owned by an investor that just does not want to do a short sale. They might be wanting to flip the property. They might think that it's better for them to foreclose, but most of the times I get a short sale approved, right? It normally gets approved. If you've been late for 6-7 months, a year, and the owner owes $150,000-$60,000, they're gonna get approved, even if they have $50,000 in the bank and a job and all that good stuff. There's 10 steps to a short sale. Again, I didn't want to get too much deep into the details of how to do the paperwork and all that boring stuff, but I'm gonna show you, once you get the lead, once a seller says yes to you doing the short sale, you sign the listing agreement, you treat, again, a lot of people that do short sales, if they ever get a short sale, they treat a listing of a short sale like it's a garbage listing. You still have to market it the right way, take nice pictures, expose it, right? Because your job as a short sale listing agent is to make sure that the client does not get foreclosed, right? You have to make sure this is not just like a regular sale where you want the owner to get their money. You have to make sure they never go to a foreclosure auction sale, right? And you also have to make sure that you save them from ruining their credit for 7 to 10 years, okay? When somebody does a short sale, which is a great way for you to get a listing, is if you do a short sale, you could buy within 2 to 3 years. A lot of people don't know that. If you settle with the bank, do a short sale, your credit goes back to 580. Within 2 to 3 years, you can buy a house. So that's a good way to explain to homeowners what's the benefit of a short sale versus a foreclosure, right? Because a lot of these homeowners, they give up. They're just like, let the bank take it. I don't want to deal with it. What is my benefit? Your benefit is you're going to be in the house for a couple more months because the short sale takes a while. It takes 3 to 6 to 7 to 8. It could take a year, depending on the bank. Ernest knows. So the benefit is you stay here for a little longer, right? You close whenever we all decide, you, the buyer, and the attorneys, and the bank. Your credit gets repaired within 2 to 3 years. A new lender will give you a loan, and you and what else? And the debt is forgiven. Okay, the debt will be forgiven. A lot of people don't know that. The short sale approval letter will say debt forgiven. Okay, so that's a good way of you to approach your homeowner. Well, why should I do a short sale? Why can't I stay here for another year? You know what I mean? Doing a short sale adds you more time and fixes your credit, and it gives you the opportunity to start your life within 2 to 3 years if you ever want to buy again. Okay, you also can offer them, put them on a credit repair company. You know, I explain to people now, because when I take a listing and a short sale, a lot of them cry. You know, if you think a regular sale is stressful, a short sale is probably 3 times more stressful. the person is very depressed, they're losing the most prized possession that they have. I've had people cry to me, hug me, you know what I mean? You have to be very human. You really have to show that you care. And the more education you give them, the better they feel, like, oh my God, this agent knows what they're doing, okay? So if you explain it to them, you're gonna get forgiven for the difference. You're gonna buy, this always gets people with their eyes open. You're healthy, you're, everything is okay with you, you have your life, financial, you're just gonna start, you're starting over, that's all it is. It's like a bankruptcy, right? You do a bankruptcy, but in 2 years you can buy a house, you can get credit cards. It's the same thing with a short sale. You're settling your debt, and they feel better about it. I think you get more listings when you explain that to people, okay? So just make sure you always say within 2 to 3 years you can start your life financially again, and they feel good about it.
One of the big things too that is, if you're in a financial industry and you get your property foreclosed, you could actually lose your job. Because most financial banks now check your credit, and if you
Yes.
can't keep a property, they can fire you. You can lose a license. We had people who were stockbrokers, they basically were told their license was going on hold until they did a short sale. So yeah,
Yes.
so anybody financial, government, industries, you gotta be careful because it's a whole lot more if you get foreclosed.
A lot of attorneys also, they advise their clients, do a bankruptcy and let the house get foreclosed. No, it doesn't, just because they're attorneys, it doesn't mean they're advising you correctly. I always say my husband's a lender. Trust me, if you do a bankruptcy and let it foreclose, you cannot buy for 7 to 10 years. If you do a bankruptcy and you do a short sale, you can buy within 2 to 3 years. Okay, so it's like, because it's a doctor and a lawyer, they trust them more than they trust the realtor. But if you have your information with you, I've even had appointments where I'm like, let me call a lender. I call the lender. I'm like, okay, Tommy, when can you buy after you do a short sale? And he'll say 2 to 3 years, and their eyes open. And then they forget about whatever their lawyer told them. Okay, so you have to have information with you to be able to walk away from that house with that short sale listing appointment. So you have to have a lot more knowledge than the attorneys, because these attorneys, they just love to do bankruptcies and let the people just get foreclosed. That's like the worst advice you can give a homeowner. All right, so there's 10 steps to the short sale. You take the listing. If you want to do it yourself, you reach out to the bank. Every bank has a certain requirements. What do you always send your authorization when you take the listing agreement. You take the listing agreement and authorization form that authorizes you to speak to the bank.
Where do you get that form?
It's just a standard one. You can email me, I'll send you one. It's just a standard, hey, my name is so-and-so, I authorize Andrea from Keller Williams to speak on my behalf. Name of the lender, account number,
So you have to
social
send a
security.
listing agreement as well, right?
Yeah, well, you send the authorization first, and then you call the bank once you're authorized. On step 2, you ask them, what do you require? Some banks require just a listing agreement, an offer purchase, a HUD, and that's it. Some of them want tax returns, some of them want pay stubs. It depends on the bank. So the first thing to do, you take the listing, you send your authorization. If you're doing the short sale yourself, you ask them, what do you need? And then you take a note of what they need, all right? So when you have an offer, you submit everything to the bank.
And a lot of banks have their own authorization. You just log online and put in short sale, and the bank, they'll bring up what you need, like document if they have their own authorization.
Which is why I don't like to do my own shorts. It's just too much freaking complications. He does, I don't. Again, step 4, why I don't like to do my own negotiations is you have to follow up with the bank constantly, every week, maybe twice a week. Once you have your offer, step 5, then you submit what it's called a complete package. Banks right now are a little easier than before. Before it was like 100 pages of stuff. Now it's very simple. Listing agreement, HUD, offer purchase, maybe a RMA form. They'll tell you what the bank sends you that, and approve funds from the buyer. It's getting simpler now. Before it was like literally, right? Like a freaking book. They want like tax returns, pay stubs. They don't ask for that anymore. Once you submit it to the bank, then now you have to keep calling the bank. Do you have the package? Are you missing anything? Once the bank, receives the full package, they'll tell you, okay, we have the full package, it's under review. Once they finish their review and they basically say the client qualifies for a short sale, now they're gonna schedule what's called a BPO, broker price opinion, or an appraisal. That is where the magic happens and where you have to do most of your work. So you have to make sure you price the property correctly. You make sure that if there's leaks, if there's something broken, just like the way you would appraise a house for sale, right? You should always knock out, 5 to 10% of the regular price so let's say in the regular market is worth 500, listed for like 450, because the buyer is going to make an offer to a short sale if they're gonna get a benefit out of it, right? Because they're gonna have to wait 3, 6, 7 months, and it's not always guaranteed. It's always subject to the bank approval, right? So you have to give them an incentive, 450 instead of 500, because it's a short sale. And always take into account whatever, you're gonna have to be your own inspector. Is there a leak? Is the roof broken? Take that off the price. Don't make such a high offer to the bank that now you're gonna have a problem because the bank is gonna say, I want 500. Well, after a home inspection is worth 450. I actually like to do again, when you treat it just like a regular sale, you do the attorney review, deposit, home inspection, use that home inspection report to make sure that if the buyer offered 500, but the report says, no, it's worth 450 based on repairs, make an offer for 450 to the bank. Don't offer 500, because now you're gonna work backwards.
So when they present you an offer, let's just say I'm buying, a home and I'm like, Andrea, this is the home that I want, it's listed for 450, I want to bid, 450 on it. The seller at that point signs that offer, correct?
Yes, you treat it like a regular listing. You sign it,
And
get
then,
on the contract, attorney review, home inspection.
and then once it goes on the home inspection.
Then you
if-
submit it to the bank.
Okay, then we'll say, okay, you know what, we're not gonna go with 450, we'll go with 425.
Yes,
Oh,
a lot of agents right away submit everything, they submit a 500,
Oh.
and then they do later, some of them even wait for the approval, and then they do a home inspection. You're working backwards.
Oh.
Because once the bank has an appraisal and a BPO value, that value doesn't expire until 6 months. You could cause the client to get foreclosed, which I've taken many listings from other agents that don't know what they're doing, where they've done that. They just sent a $500,000 approval offer, didn't even do a home inspection with the buyer, waits for the approval of the short sale, then does the home inspection and finds out, oh, wait, hold on. The buyer's not gonna pay 5, they wanna pay 450. But wait, now the bank has a value of 500 and they're not gonna budge.
Yeah.
Once they have a $500,000 number on their computer, they have to wait until that expires for them to renegotiate. And there you might be at a point where the client goes into an auction and a
And they're not
foreclosure.
gonna request like the original offer, like the original contract that was signed?
They're not gonna know, because
Oh.
you're basically
No,
gonna
that's your
change it. The
negotiations.
attorneys are gonna change it before you send it to them. So basically, you either do an addendum, I always say do a new contract, an addendum makes the bank suspicious, so you create a new contract, everybody signs it for the new price instead of the.
Yeah, we learned the hard way. We used to do it that way. We learned the hard way. No. Just do it on the contract, deposit. Oh, do a deposit, do it on attorney review, because you don't want this buyer to make an offer on your short sale and then be looking for other properties and then back out when you have an approval, which used to happen to us in the beginning in 2000.
And if a buyer doesn't want to put the money toward doing a home inspection, again, some properties aren't bad, so you don't have to worry about it. But if this is a property has issues, and
Yes.
it's gonna come up,
Yeah.
they don't want to do the home inspection, don't take their offer.
No,
Because you're
You-
wasting
you're
your
gonna
time. I'm
treat
telling
this as
you,
a
they're gonna
regular
come back and try to change the number and it's too late. So just put it out there. You can invest a little bit of money if you want the property. If you don't, then we're moving on to somebody else.
And listen, for short sales, you're gonna have, your phone won't stop. So there's plenty of buyers.
How does the bank say this is the amount that I want? Like they.
That's where I was gonna go, and I went into another step number 8. That's why I said the magic happens. You as an agent, just like the way you will go to an appraisal for a regular sale, to make sure it appraises at 500, you bring your comms, the reason why you think it's worth 5, you do the same thing for a short sale. So the house may look like it's 500, but no, here's the inspection report. It has this, it has this, it has like broken roof. I have a house right now with the solar panels. I'm gonna take out like $20,000 off the price because I know solar panels are a pain in the ass. It's a short sale. I'm taking out 20 grand off. And I will tell the BPO, which is a realtor, agent, please, because if it's solar panels, this house has to be worth 20,000 less, because no one wants a short sale plus a solar panel dead, right? Or if the roof is broken but leaking, but you can't see it with your eye, show the BPO agent or sometimes an appraisal, the report, please. Based on this house is worth this much.
So basically, they don't focus on how much they owe and
No,
none of that.
they could owe $1 million. If it's worth 5, and the report comes in at 5, they'll accept your offer for 5. And even if you have a 480 and it comes at 5, you can negotiate that.
Based on
They
that.
will take it. They should take 480 if their report comes at 5. You can still fight it. So don't think, even though they say, well, the report says 5. Well, the buyer doesn't want to pay. You got to negotiate. Well, the buyer doesn't want to pay because of this, and that. And eventually they'll come down to the 480. So that is very important. A lot of agents that don't know what they're doing, they just let the homeowner, let the BPO appraise the land, and whoops, 525 for a 450 offer. Because some of the agents come from South Jersey, they don't even know Rutherford, they don't even know Jersey City, they're just gonna quickly, they're getting paid $50 for this, or 75, they're gonna do a quick little report, you weren't there to guide them, that's on you. So now you gotta wait 6 months for that report to expire, so now you're going in circles. Okay, so that is like very important to attend. I do my own BPO, like an appraisal report, and I give it to them. You know what I mean? And they just have to read it. This is what's wrong with the house, this, and this, and normally I get the value that I want. Especially the houses that are like, some of these short sales are vacant, water damage. You have to come up with a contractor report. The repair value is 120,000. Just be very prepared. That way it's not overpriced, because now you're losing 6 months. Mhm. And then after that, if the BPO comes in okay, and you negotiate with the bank, they give you what's called a short sale approval, and now you're ready to close. Now they normally give you 30 days to 45 days to close. So that's why you have to be prepared. Home inspection should be done, deposit. Basically, when you get the short sale approval, you should be ready to do the appraisal and start preparing to close. Also, number 1, always order title when you get a short sale. Number 1, it's not in here. I learned that through trial and error. As soon as you get a short sale listing, work with a title company. I have a title company that doesn't charge me. Order title, because even though you ask the homeowner, do you have any other liens? Do you owe credit cards? Do you have another bank? I've had choices with child support. They're like, oh, I don't have child support. You owe 50,000 in child support. And child support is not negotiable. So that is a dead deal unless someone's gonna pay for it, okay?
Now,
So you have to order title.
when you order title, you're ordering it with the seller paying it, or do
No.
you have a buyer?
No, you have to work with a title company that will do that for you.
Okay.
And no charge, because you give them a lot of business, or sometimes they charge you, I don't know,
$100.
$100.
And you're asking for like abbreviated time, not a full title, you're asking for like more abbreviated, you just want
It's
liens.
not a full
You want like
title,
liens and
it's just
judgments.
liens, it's gonna show you any liens that come up.
We should be able to do that through Carnegie, right?
I'm not gonna say any names, but you should all have your connections, there's always a title company attorney. If you're gonna do short sales, hey, listen, I wanna team up, I wanna get a bunch of short sales, can you order title for me? When I get the deal and I get the buyer, I'll make sure you get the title and they will work with you.
We do have our phenomenal title rep from Carnegie
Yes.
Title, Mr. Ryan
Ryan.
Buccigrosi. So never hesitate to reach out to him for any of your title needs.
Yes, we're shouting out to Ryan, where are you, Ryan? All right, so I didn't make it too boring with what do you need for a short sale package, blah, blah, blah. You can always email me if you want a list of what you need for a short sale package. But again, you call the bank, every bank is different. Some banks need 1 thing, some banks need 10 things, some banks need 3 things. So just call the bank and they'll tell you what you need, okay? Well, this is the fun part. This is basically how to approach a homeowner in distress, right? So there's scripts here, there's letters, what to send, and there's some objections. So if anybody wants to practice how to talk to a seller who wants to role play.
Is there,
But,
is there a place where we can see who's in danger of a short sale, like,
I think I put,
I just saw it, it's on the
right
last
here.
page, yeah.
Page 12 is gonna give you, if you wanna work with investors, if you have cash investors, flippers, these are a list of, websites where you can find, foreclosed, properties that are under foreclosure, or REOs. REOs that they're already foreclosed. Or they're short sales, sometimes I take a short sale, and it doesn't matter if I get a buyer, the bank is gonna put it in an auction online. Basically, they're gonna find out if my buyer is paying top dollar. I think that's in here. Auction.com, that's number one. But you can go yourself, so if you have a buyer that wants to buy a cheap property, or you can't find anything, and hey, I have, off-market properties, you go here, and I don't know what you're looking for, a condo in your city, you look at, and then you can make a bid with your client. You submit it with your information, and you get paid the commission 3% if it gets accepted by the bank.
But if you're looking for like short sale leads, is there a place where you can look and see?
Yeah, you can do it through, a Mojo, that's right, Mojo? Mojo?
Looking for, yeah.
Mojo, RedX, My Plus Leads. You can pay them. For some reason, short sale leads are very cheap. It's like $50 a month because a lot of people don't approach them. It's not like probate. It's like $300 for 10 leads.
Mojo, Redix, and what?
RedX, Mojo. I use Mojo. I use My Plus Leads. They have very good, accurate data, but that's just a lead source. You have to put it in a dialer, right? I don't know if you prospect. But Mojo also has the dialer plus the foreclosure list.
So basically, we're trying to call pre-foreclosure or foreclosure, like, I'm.
No, foreclosure is a different animal. Foreclosures, you have to have connections with the bank and they give you the listing. Forget about it, it's too much work.
Okay,
I like approaching them before they go into foreclosure.
so pre-foreclosure. That's
Through
it.
foreclosure. There's different types of short sales though. There's the people that are just 3 months, 4 months, 5 months late.
Mhm.
Those are a little bit more harder to work because they have, I have 3, 4, in New Jersey, you can go freaking 10 years and not get foreclosed. You can go 2 years, I've seen up to 10 years in New Jersey where you're not foreclosed. So you can have the homeowner that's like 1 month, 3 months late, oh my God, sell the house, I don't wanna ruin my credit, I'm out of here. And you can have that homeowner that will
So you
7
can bury
years
me here.
and still dragging it out, dragging it out, dragging it out. So there's different people you can approach. List pendants, which you can buy on My Plus Leads. Those are the people that are not in auction yet, right? Those are 3 months or more late. They're premature, but you can still get leads from that. Some people do like to sell as soon as they see a hardship. They want to walk away from the problem. Some of them even move out of the house. They're like, I don't want to live here if I'm not paying the mortgage, and they just move. Those are good ones. And then there's the auction ones. They're the ones that they have an auction date of April 15th. And those are harder to work with because you have to really know your game. You have to know how to stop the sheriff sale. You have to know how to submit an offer right away to the bank. Those are really hard to do. So if you ever have any questions, you can call me, text me, whatever, if you get one of those. But there's also a website in New Jersey where you can check if they're at an auction. Those are even lower hanging fruit because they're like, hey, Mrs. Seller, you have an auction on April 15th. What are you doing? Are you gonna do it? And most of them are gonna say they're mortifying. But guess what? The mortification wants 3 times their 3 times the mortgage. So if their mortgage is $3,000, they want the homeowner to make $9,000. If they made $9,000, they wouldn't be in this hole. But a lot of these attorneys, the notification companies that are charging $3,000 a month are giving them that hope, right? They're like, oh, we're gonna modify your loan. A modification, does anybody know how a modification looks like? Okay, let's say the house is worth $400,000. I'll give you an example of someone I'm approaching right now. The house is worth $400,000. That's the market value. She owes $700,000. Okay, that's her offset value. That's how much she owes the bank, all right? She's paying a mortgage company $3,000 a month to modify her loan. They have it in their heads that they're somehow gonna be forgiven maybe 200 off the bat and have like a 2%. No, Mr. Seller, I'm very soft to how you approach them because when they have something on their minds of someone that gave them that hope, you really don't want to fight with them because then they're gonna hang up on you or they're gonna tell you that all you want is a commission and you don't care about me, right? So you have to basically nurture the lead because you know when they get that modification offer, you wanna know how that modification offer comes in? So let's just say the house is worth 400, but they owe $700,000. They're behind 100 more. The bank is gonna take that 700, that $100,000 in penalties, and give them a modification of an $800,000. It's no longer 2%, I think modifications are 5% right now. They give them a 40-year loan, right? And then that $100,000 they didn't pay for it a year, they're gonna put it as a balloon payment in the back. So you're paying for a house that's worth almost $800,000. But a percentage of homeowners, they're stuck on not realizing, I have to get out of this house, the big house that I have, and I'm gonna have to move into an apartment for 2-3 years until I can buy another house. It's very hard for them to understand it. They have to see it on paper. When they get the modification offer, then you can be like, okay, do you really think that offer is good for you? You really are doing a benefit to them because like, if you accept this modification, you have to be 80 years old before your house is worth 900,000 to make 100,000 on a loan that you just took out on a house that's worth 400,000. So there's a lot of people right now doing that. They're modifying their loan, paying double what the house is worth because they just can't accept reality that let me just get rid of this pain, this liability, and let me start over. Because all these modification companies, attorneys, realtors are not telling them, hey, just get rid of the problem, and in 2-3 years, we'll get you another house. You start from scratch. But some of them are not, they're stuck on that, I'm getting a modification. Don't hang up on you. I got it handled. Do you understand you're gonna have to pay $800,000 for a $400,000 house? You barely could handle a $400,000 mortgage. How are you gonna handle $800,000 for 40 more years? Some of them are 60 years old. You're not even gonna live to have equity on your home. So you can't be too forceful because they're just gonna think you're looking for your commission. You kind of have to nurture the lead until they come to reality.
And you have to let them know, like, one of the lines I use is, it's like the stock market. You're buying a bad debt. You're basically buying something that, who knows what's gonna happen in 3 years? What if you have to sell this house? You can't sell it. And guess what you're gonna do in 3 years? Short sell it, and now you still gotta wait 2-3 more years. You could have done that now and been in a new house. So it's really about getting them to see the future of it, because if you're that upside down, you can't sell this house 10 years from now. You can't sell this house 20 years from now. Who knows? You may have to move someone with your family and you are stuck with this bad debt. And again, you're starting the whole process over again because you're paying current, but you still have this bad debt, and then you're gonna become bad again because you're not gonna be able to sell
We're
it.
pretty much delaying.
Yeah, the inevitable. And that's just getting them to realize, and a lot of people don't wanna see that, but it's really about pitching it as, would you do this on the stock market? If something was worth $5, would you buy it for $10? No, you're not gonna spend that kind of money because it's a bad debt. That's exactly what you're doing with your house. You're keeping a bad debt.
Yeah, but you gotta build rapport before you can get that strong, because if you get that strong with them, they're gonna hang up on you. Yesterday, I got.
No, I'm always nice up front.
I got physically
Upfront is the key word in that sentence.
I got physically kicked out of a house yesterday because I was sent by my investor, go drop off your resume, the owner wants to talk to you. I'm okay, I'm just here to drop off a resume. The son's like, who are you? What are you giving her? Get out of my house. Because he has it in his mind, he's doing a modification. But I could tell by the condition of the house, they don't have $9,000 a month. If they have that money, this house wouldn't look like that. But he sees me as a threat. I just want to sell his house. He just wants to keep his house. I am no good to him right now. Basically, you just have to a lead like that, you just have to nurture it until they see reality on paper, or they pay that modification for 3 to 4 months and they're like, wow, I can't do this. But you have to add value to them. I hope you get your home. I really hope you can keep your home. I am here as your last resort. I really hope, I talk to people like that. I hope you keep your home. I wish you real luck, and I actually advise them how to handle the modification. If I see them in auction, hey, you're in an auction, make sure your modification company or whatever lawyer you're paying all this money to extends that sheriff sale. And I text them, hey, they haven't extended it. I've had people thank me, oh my God, because of you, I didn't lose my house, thank you so much. Call me a year later, hey, I can't handle my modifications, I'm ready to short sell. Because you added value to them. Don't push them to sell when all they want is keep their home. Don't do that. I'm here to find the homeowner that has no job, no income, death and a spouse, there's no way they can keep their home. They want me, they need me. Those modification ones, those are nurtures. When they realize it on their own, they will be, okay, you added value to me, you didn't push me, you didn't, you weren't telling me all these things that I want to hear. I'm gonna call you because you were nicer to me than the 100 agents that were telling me that I'm wrong, right? So that's how you approach modification
People don't wanna be
objections.
told that they're wrong.
Huh?
They don't wanna be told that they're wrong, like it's a bruise to the
You're
ego.
losing your most prized
Yeah.
asset. You feel depressed, you feel like you lost everything, and now you have an agent trying to make commission out of you. You can't approach them like that. You have to come with compassion. And again, not like, just like every seller doesn't want to sell, not every short seller wants to short sell. So you just gotta find that one person that, I have a few short sales, the properties are vacant, they wanna save their credit, those are the perfect short sales.
Mhm.
Yes, make sure I don't have a foreclosure on my credit, I want a short sale, or yes, I'm not taking a crazy modification, no way, that's a robbery, I want a short sale. Those are the perfect short sale clients. The other ones, just let them figure it out on their own. Keep them as a lead on your CRM. Text them every 3 months, hey, how's your modification? Congratulations, you got it. Hey, how's everything going? And then eventually, unfortunately, it'll become a short sale because they can't handle it.
I remember before I became a realtor, like there were, my son's friends' parents, they had foreclosed on their home. And for him, he felt like he built his family. So, he was like, I feel like such a failure, like, I wanted my kids to always have a home to come back to when they were out of the house, and, now I lost that for them, they had moved in with her family, with the in-laws. But, it's deflating.
You kind of have to become a therapist. I always tell them, listen, when the market crashed, I had to do bankruptcy. I had 10 listings and they all died on me. My husband was a lender, 10 refinances, they all died. We were so broke, we didn't have money for gas. That really gets them like, wow, you can start over?
Yeah.
The guy, the listing I took the other day, he hugged me. He's like, there's hope. I did it, the other agent didn't tell me that you could buy in 2-3 years. The other agent almost took me to foreclosure. You mean in 2-3 years I can buy a house for 3%? Yeah, and guess what? In 2-3 years the market is gonna go down, so you're gonna get a better deal. They're like, wow. So you have to be knowledgeable of things, of the market, of the interest rates, of the, hey, the market is gonna go down, and then you're gonna be in a better position to buy than to buy right now. So get rid of this debt of 800,000 when the house is 400. Let's get you a house for 400,000 in 2-3 years at 3% down. Get a cheap apartment and save your money. And they're like, wow, there's hope. So you gotta give them hope. Because right now, they feeling like there's no way out of this mess. So you kind of have to be a counselor, financial analyst, you have to be
Everything.
But if you have all that knowledge, you're gonna top the 99% of the agents know what the hell they're doing. They take a listing, they do everything wrong. Today, I'm taking my second listing from an agent that don't know what they were doing. I got the unconditional withdrawal today because the homeowner realized he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. I offered him a referral fee. The guy's taking it because of you, the homeowner almost got foreclosed tomorrow. His foreclosure day was the 14th, tomorrow, and he didn't know, the agent didn't know. Right, so if you're taking a listing of a short sale or something that's an auction, make sure you know what you're doing, partner up with an agent that knows what they're doing, or you're gonna cause this client to lose their home because you took on something that you couldn't handle. Okay, so always think of them, then your commission, right? Their credit, their future, your reputation, right? Do you want someone to be foreclosed because you were too selfish to share with someone who knew what they were doing or to learn? You know what I mean? Don't do that. Because I had a lot of agents, I had to withdraw because I didn't know what they were doing and I had to take over the file. So, any questions? I know a lot of people have questions. But I have here how to talk to them over the phone. If you want to start getting some leads, I will go to the foreclosure list and I will send maybe 20, 30 letters a month just to start. There's a few letters in here where you can approach them just to start getting some calls, some leads. You can do a mass mail out or you can do mass prospecting or you can donate. But there's many ways of getting short sale leads.
Door knocking just be.
How do you get them, Ernest?
This one shares.
No, but door knocking is interesting because if you go to the door and it's the first time, most of them will not let you in. Most of them will call you all kind of names from the devil.
Why are you being so scary to them?
No, I'm saying, but door knocking.
One out of
I'm saying,
100
no, I'm
would
saying,
be
but door
easy.
knocking just prepare yourself for not most people being kind to you.
I think-
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Still go door knocking, but again, you may get that one person, but the door knocking is a little tougher because most of the time the people in short sales are not as nice when you're coming knocking on their door.
Or even if they're not at short sales.
But listen, you have to approach it in a way. This homeowner needs me. I'm more knowledgeable than everybody because I took trainings or whatever. I see it in a way, oh crap, I didn't get the short sale. Now they hired an agent that's probably gonna take them to foreclosure. So if you have the mindset that I'm knowledgeable, I know what I'm doing. I have a whole team. You can say you have attorneys, you can say you have negotiators. You know, now that you don't know what you're doing, you can hire someone, another agent. Hey, I partner with the top short sale agent in the area. I can make sure you don't get foreclosed, and then they trust you, and then they start talking to you. And I always use my line. 99% of the agents don't know how to do a short sale. Do you want to hire them? Because they always say, oh, I have a cousin that wants to do my short sale. Mr. Seller, just so you know, 99% of the agents do not know how to do a short sale. Do you really want to hire someone that doesn't know how to do a short sale and that can get you into foreclosure and ruin your credit? Or do you want to work with someone that knows what they're doing? And most of the times I get the listing like that because I say short sale is a different animal. Even if they have equity, you're going to find sometimes people in auction or short sale and in this type of situation, they don't even know they have equity. I have two right now that have equity, 100,000 in equity. They didn't even know. But even then, you can say, even if you have equity, you still have to hire someone like me because I have to work with the bank to make sure that you don't get foreclosed, even though they're getting a full payoff. If the agent doesn't know what they're doing, you're gonna lose at 100,000. Then they really get scared. Okay, forget about my cousin. Yeah. You gotta focus on, do you want to lose 100,000 for hiring the wrong agent? Or do you want to hire someone that knows what they're doing, has a team behind her, and then you get the listing? So, and it's true, my line works. 99% don't know what they're doing. It works every time. So, I mean, there's plenty of ways to approach them. Very easy prospecting. Hey, I just helped a homeowner in your area in the same situation that you're in, wondering if you have any thoughts of keeping your home or what are you doing with the situation? And then they'll start opening up to you. I'm mortifying, or someone died, or this or that, or what can you do for me? And the moment they say, what can you do for me? Get that appointment because they're lost. They need your guidance. And get the appointment and try to get that short sale listing. I think I'm done, right? Any questions? Questions? How do you get a listing? How do you get a lead?
And if anyone on Zoom has any questions, feel free to unmute yourself, and Andrea can answer them for you.
I have a resume. Anybody wants a copy?
But I think what Andrea is telling you is you have to be empathetic.
Very.
No,
Have to be, when you're sitting there with those people, you could be their last hope. And you have to validate
their fears
Yes.
and you have to validate their feelings.
Mhm.
If you don't, then you're gonna be the vulture.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
And, you know, Andrea said it over and over again, that's what you really need to focus on, is being
How
that,
can I solve
yeah,
your stress,
being
you're
their
not sleeping at night because
Right.
of this? I think I have at least one seller a week cry to me, because I'm doing a lot of short sales lately, at least one cries. Just can't handle their emotions, starts crying over the phone or starts crying in person. This is very scary to them, you know, just think about it. You own a home, right? Just imagine, you have to approach it that way. What would happen if a sheriff comes to my door and puts a note on my door that you need to get out? If you think that way, then you have more compassion for the person. If they feel you have compassion for
Trust it on
them,
the screen.
they'll work for you than another agent that's just thinking about their commission, right?
Vanita, go ahead, you can unmute yourself.
Hello.
Hi, Vanita.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you. I just want to ask you, if I list the short close like short sale, right? And I can buy myself too?
If you cannot be the listing agent and the buyer for the short sale. I've had a situation where Ernest got a really nice house in Tiric and didn't want to sell it to me. He had to be the listing agent, buyer's agent. You cannot be a buyer's agent for a short sale that you're trying to negotiate for yourself. It's not good. The bank is always gonna have a problem with it. When I'm buying a short sale, I always give it to someone else.
If you put your name as the buyer's agent and you're the buyer,
Yeah,
you will not get paid, and you most likely won't even get the short sale
Yeah.
accepted because the bank knows.
Don't
you're
risk
trying-
it.
Don't risk it, it's not worth
the
it,
commission.
you want it, so yeah.
It's not worth the
Thank you.
commission. You're
I
welcome.
did not know that.
So now you know Ernest almost gave away my house.
Andrea, they still negotiate commission.
If you go by yourself, yeah, for sure.
I mostly get
Have they
6%.
stopped that?
I mostly get 6%.
You don't see, because back in the day, when I was doing them, we had to put in the remarks, commission subject to bank approval.
Yeah.
You still have to
No,
put that.
You can still have to put that, and you want to make sure that the agent knows. I'm sorry, but for short sales, I pay too. They're too much work. I have to pay an assistant and an attorney fee. You know, you put 2%. Don't put 3%, because first, the bank might cut the commission. Second, you have way too many expenses with short sales. You have to pay so many fees as a listing agent that
Galena's in the way.
you have to make sure you have that room, to pay 2% to the other agent, but it is always subject. I normally always get 6%. Sometimes you have that bank that's, that's the 5%, but I haven't seen it in a while. Most banks just pay you the 6%. And, they pay attorneys. Oh, you can also do that in your listing presentation. You don't have to pay anything out of pocket, commission, attorney fee. Some liens get paid, not all of them. If you have credit cards, you have to negotiate them. You have to put them in the loan. The buyer might have to pay for them because the banks pay water liens, tax liens. They might pay sewer. Sometimes they have to pay a second mortgage. You have to negotiate a second mortgage. But credit cards and child support, they don't pay. You have a child support, short sale, you're screwed. I've had it, 100,000. I had $1 million IRS dead deal. Yeah, a beautiful house in Upper Saddle River, $1 million in tax debt. We had a beautiful one in Montclair, millions in freaking debts, dead deal. That's why it's very important to order title. You don't want to spend 6 months negotiating and, oh, wow, it's $100 million in liens.
So at that point, you just like.
There's short sales that you're just not gonna be able to do. 100,000 in child support, their child support is non-negotiable. The buyer is not gonna pay 100,000 or they're asking, and the bank is not gonna pay for it, the deal. Right? Or a huge tax lien that the IRS won't allowed to do the closing. That some IRS liens, you can, the IRS will allow you to do the short sale, and then they'll continue charging the owner after closing. But there are just taxes that are just too much, that there's no negotiating. You just walk away from those. That's it? Any questions? Who's gonna go after short sales? They're fun.
Oh.
Your definition of fun is a little twisted.
You do get to work with investors. You do get to work with a lot of flippers, a lot of, people that are like, hey, this house is in beat up shape. You get an investor, buys the cash, you get the resale. So there's opportunities to work with investors, and there's opportunities so you buy it. Hey, wow, this is a great short sale. Have Ernest list it and I buy it, something like that. So there's opportunities there for that too. But definitely in the market that's gonna start slowing down, you should be able to know how to do short sales, because short sales sell in any market. And that's why I do it. No questions?
All right, thanks